And then you're down to work experience. Now, work experience is definitely the heart of your resume. This is where you want to really show things that you've accomplished. One huge mistake people make when they're putting the work experience portion into their resume is they'll put their job titles, and then for the bullet points, they'll just basically list what the job was, what it consisted of, almost like the job description, right? So imagine you're a hostess or some kind of server at a restaurant. You don't put that you waited tables or that you tried to ensure good customer service by being friendly to your customers. Those are assumed tasks that come with the job. So let the job title speak for itself. We know the hiring manager will typically know what a job entails. So then what do you put for those bullet points? Typically you'll have only 3. If it's an older job and not as important, or maybe it was one of your first internships, maybe you only put 2 bullet points. If it's your most recent one and it was of high significance and you're hoping will help you move to the next job, maybe put 4. But typically, you don't want to pack too many bullet points and you don't want them to be too long, but you want them to be strategic. So here are a few tips for those bullet points. 1, start them with an action word. You led something, you implemented, you coordinated, you directed, you organized. You could also go to ChatGPT and type in, give me a list of 50 action words that I could use to start bullet points in the work experience section of a resume, and it'll give you a list. After you start with your action word, then you put a concrete achievement. And there's 2 parts to this. 1, you want a concrete achievement, something you actually did, and not just the job description, but say you were tutoring students. So you wouldn't just say that you tutored students in math. You might say something like created individualized curriculum for students struggling in their math scores. And then you want to make it that as much as possible, that concrete achievement quantifiable. So not just that you helped struggling students, but you helped 20% of them move up 1 letter grade. For example, if you're a sales associate at a local bookstore, you might say increased monthly sales by 20% through targeting customer engagement strategies, managed social media accounts, getting 300 new followers in 3 months. Or here, as you see for research assistant, collaborated on consumer behavior study published in a peer-reviewed journal, conducted data analysis using SPSS, contributing to key research findings. So the idea here is that you're starting with an action word, you're, as much as you can, showing a concrete achievement, you're making it quantifiable, a quantifiable outcome in as many cases as are logical. Don't force it into every single dot, but make sure several of them through your resume have quantifiable outcomes. And it's worth making sure that you get that skill down very well, and you'll be able to fill your resume bank with lots of bullet points that you'll be able to copy and paste into resumes that you customize for the jobs you're applying to. And that'll be definitely a benefit to you. And then lastly, it can also be helpful if you, here and there, not for a ton of them, but you show something you overcame, a challenge or problem. You're almost telling a mini story, but just in a sentence. Here are some examples of what those bullet points might look like. Addressed declining user engagement by creating an innovative content strategy, boosting social media interaction by 40% in 6 months. So you can see it starts with the action word addressed. It has the challenge that there was declining user engagement, and then it shows the concrete outcome, a concrete accomplishment, and a quantifiable outcome. More examples. Solved workflow inefficiencies in team projects, leading to a 25% reduction in processing time and significantly improving team output. Overcame budget constraints by implementing cost-cutting measures, reducing departmental expenses by 15% annually. Tackled supply chain challenges by negotiating a 10% reduction in material costs with suppliers, enhancing overall cost efficiency. Resolved a critical software malfunction by coordinating a cross-departmental team, restoring system functionality within 24 hours and preventing significant operational delays. Another advantage of including these stories of challenges you've overcome is that they often turn into opportunities to in person tell that story at an interview. It's common that these are sort of you're giving yourself like a spike for you to then hit the ball when an interviewer is scanning your resume and is like, oh, tell me about this challenge you overcame. Or even if they don't pinpoint that specifically, oftentimes they'll ask common questions about challenges you've overcome. And you'll be able to refer back to, oh, as you see on the resume, and then have a story prepared to go in more depth and elaborate on that. I would also recommend when you're writing these work experience bullet points to use ChatGPT again, or whatever generative AI software you prefer. But you can put your bullet points in and ask it to edit with particular things in mind. Say, edit this to make sure that they're not cliches, or that there are strong action words, or that the accomplishments seem quantifiable or concrete. You could also ask it to generate or brainstorm lists of possible bullet points. You could type in a paragraph of just things you did, and then ask it to write the bullet points for you following kind of that format I said. Action word, concrete accomplishment, quantifiable outcome, and then for some of them, not all, a story of a challenge that you overcame. So AI is our friend, and in a resume bank, it can actually be really helpful because you can put multiple bullet points under a single job. Maybe you have 20 bullet points for one job. Now in the resume, you're only going to put like 3 of those 20, but it can be handy to have different things emphasized in a job. And this is especially true if you're trying to move, maybe the job you had was what we might just call like a college job. You did food service on campus. Okay, well that's not, but now you want to move into an actual career area. So the job title of, food service worker in a campus job is not going to do much for you. But the bullet points might show transferable skills. You might have done things, led a team or handled books or accounting that would be helpful in a different position, even though the job title itself might be a little lackluster. I encourage you to check out the example below of a resume bank. You can also get a free copy of the Resume Bank ebook, which has a bunch of tips and tricks just like these and examples, as well as some example resumes for each year in college. I put one for freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, and recent grads. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.